Welcome to another Rejuvenation Bar Radio podcast. I am Dr. Eileen Rivera Jimenez, and today we have a very special guest with us, somebody that I've known for way too many years. If we go back, you guys will definitely know my age, even though I don't hide my age, and neither does she. With us today is Martha Mendez, the attorney.
Thank you so much for having me, Eileen. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that we reconnected.
Yes, me too. But during that reconnection, I ended up finding Martha on Instagram, which is how we reconnected.
Right.
A lot of amazing work that you do. I think probably it's like words, noticing on my phone or looking for guardianship for my son. And that's how I reconnected with you. You popped up on my feed. And then of course she's done other things for me. So with that being said, and no gatekeeping.
Right.
I know that I see a lot of your stories and we kind of have the same similar process. Gatekeeping. In every single way possible.
I can't with gatekeepers. Why?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's an age thing. I think our generation, we're more open to talking about things because our parents' generation wasn't.
100%.
They were definitely the big gatekeepers.
Right.
And not seeing that with us, I think other generations sometimes, or maybe just the person, they gatekeep. There's no reason.
Absolutely. No, I think it's hard for us, right? Because we're still on that cusp. Yeah, and I'm not going to gatekeep it. I'm not going to say my age right now, but it's hard for me sometimes to be open about things because that's not how I was raised.
Right.
But we have to. We're women. We have to be able to say and inform other women and
exactly help each other.
Reality, exactly,
and help each other and not criticize.
Yeah.
Because what I see a lot is women that criticize other women with, Botox, which is one of those big stigmas, right?
Right.
I'm not getting Botox, yet they don't have one line, one wrinkle, one movement on their eyebrows.
Exactly.
We're all like middle age. Something's got to be moving there, girl. Something has to be
Exactly. No, I did it naturally. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. But with gatekeeping in mind, I have a lot of questions for you, and I think that you are the indicated person for it. We live in what we call beauty Mecca, or at least what I like to call beauty Mecca. Miami is one of them.
100%. Yeah.
So many things pop off here. And who better to guide us through this process and help us tell our patients what not and what to look for. So in the past 6 months, there was a spa very close to my office. I'm right off 102 and Sunset here in Miami. And this person was advertising on TikTok. You would see her injecting people on TikTok. And then all of a sudden, boom, she gets shut down, huge raid, all of these things. But she had, quote unquote, a legal commercial property where she was, what everybody thought, licensed to perform. What do you think of these places? Like, how dangerous is this? I can tell you from a medical standpoint, but I cannot tell you from a legal standpoint.
I think there's a lot of components, right? There's the criminal component, which comes to play a lot in somebody that doesn't have a license to practice, right? You have to have a license to practice.
Yes.
You went to school, you did all of that. And then the civil component, right? So, that person is probably facing countless felonies for practicing without a license and other things that I think one of them was like a lollipop that they were
Phentermine lollipops.
Right. So
Phentermine is a great medication. It was the first weight loss medication to come out many years ago, but it's not so used right now because it caused a lot of palpitations. People were kind of freaking out, and that was just with one pill a day. Imagine sucking on a lollipop the whole day of this. It's an amphetamine. It's classified as an amphetamine.
And then the question is, I wonder if she was even informing those patients of, can you possibly inform somebody when you're not even licensed to give informed consent? I mean...
That's a really good question. And from what I read in the police report, obviously the police went in, they raided because they sent an undercover. She would just sell them, oh, hi, I'm here to buy 3 lollipops. Oh, here you go. There's no, from a medical standpoint, right, there's no history and physical. You have to review all of their medications, see if they have any heart disease. I mean, all these things, because it varies by medication. And it's scary because she had a physical location in a commercial shopping center.
Which I think is part of the problem with social media, right? Like, I love social media. I'm all about it. Like, you see me all the time out there. But there's a lot of misconceptions or you know, people come on, they're like, you see them and then you look like they're an expert, right? Because they're on social media and they have 20,000 followers,
Yep.
and then you find out that you didn't do your due diligence, and all of a sudden you're going to somebody that doesn't have a license.
Completely unlicensed. She was a massage therapist dispensing, these medications, but the worst part, she was injecting people, and it's documented on social media. That is like the worst. What do you recommend for even when people have a commercial location like I do? What do you recommend if you were a consumer, right, of course, with your background, what would you say? Go do your research doing this. How would you guide us?
So there's certainly, nowadays you can search anything on the internet. So my first recommendation is go on to the platform, the Department of Business and Professional Regulations, right? The DBPR or Department of Health, wherever it is that you have your license, and search. I go to doctors and I search to make sure what school they went to, how long they've been a doctor. It's the same thing for an injector, right?
It is. We're classified under the same.
Right? So I'd say go look and make sure that they're licensed. That's the first big thing. And then, check out Google reviews, check out other avenues to see what people are saying about the person.
That's a really big one. I see that a lot of some of these accounts, this particular person's account had 56,000 followers. But on the likes, there was 20 likes, 30 likes. So it didn't match. But people didn't see this. And that's really, really sad, because I initially knew about this particular person through a law enforcement person that I know. And she was actually soliciting this person that has a very big social media presence. She was soliciting her to do services on her. But yet she didn't have a license. I'm sorry, this is ballsy.
No, yeah.
This is ballsy.
But guys, we're in Miami. Where else, and I tell people all the time, when I talk to people about, my field, estate planning and other things, and I tell them, just because other people do it, we're in Miami, they're doing it wrong. That's illegal. Don't do that,
right.
But you have to be more cautious here in Miami because of everything that we see, in today's day.
I think that also a lot of people, I think you and I discussed this earlier, just because this person might have been a doctor, I don't know, I'm from Cuba, so are you, in Cuba, in Colombia, wherever it is, they were a doctor. Yes, they had training there. That was their board certification, their regulations. Here, unfortunately, that person doesn't have that training, doesn't meet that criteria. How can we differentiate, right, an American injector versus somebody that studied abroad that is kind of just buying the product anywhere, incognito, and injecting anywhere in their backyards?
Right. No, and that happens. And then the other component is, are they getting the proper training? Because you have to have training, right? And you update your training. I don't know, as an attorney, I have continuing education. I'm sure. So they're not getting that continuous education to be able to properly do things.
Exactly. And also I feel that the product is not from an American pharmaceutical, as Galderma, Allergan. I mean, these are your big companies. Where's this product coming from? Was it kept at the correct temperatures? So these are also really big things that I'm seeing.
So I'm going to be super interested in following that case, because we talk about the felonies and the criminal implications and stuff, but there's also the civil component, because if I'm a patient of hers and I had any sort of issue, I'm going to come back and sue you civilly. And then if you own anything, I'm going to try to, go after that. So if you're thinking about it in a proper perspective, it's not just a criminal, you have your civil implications. Of course. So, I mean, there's
a lot of things, a lot of components. But speaking of backyard injectors, this is one that it floored me. It floored me because at least the one in the commercial shopping center, kind of, you would think in your mind, right? Well, they're in a space, maybe they're advertising, right? Of course they're legal, kind of very run-of-the-mill. There was one lady, I don't know if you saw this, in Fort Myers, which is not Beauty Mecca, but it's close. And she had a shed in her backyard. And that's where she was injecting. She was doing fillers. She was even doing liposuction.
Oh my God.
She was doing all these things. I mean, okay, let's not gatekeep, right? I'll tell you where I go, you tell me where you go. But if you tell me, I'm gonna send you to this lady that I heard of, a friend of mine's cousin, that works from her house, and the moment I get there, because let's say that I wind up there, and I have to walk through the side of her house to get to a shed, I'm going to haul ass. Like,
100%.
That's it. I don't understand this. Like, this lady actually did hurt somebody. There was some sort of allergic reaction to Botox. I didn't understand the full report. I think that it was kind of worded wrongly. I think that maybe there might have been like a brow drop, which of course, if you are a certified injector, you know your facial anatomy. You know where things are, where you can cause a drop in the eyes. And of course, she tried to revert it. You can't revert that. It's just a matter of it wearing off. You have 3 to 6 months with this not so great look. But things that come out cheaper kind of will cost you more in the end.
Right.
What happens in these cases when they bust somebody at home?
I mean, I think it's the same, right? They're practicing without a license.
Yes.
They probably have a business that doesn't even have a business license. So it's just wrong all around, So it's like you have your criminal, you have your civil. You're always going to have those two components that are going to go hand in hand. It's probably some felonies, some misdemeanors going on there.
Sure.
I mean, I wonder now that person probably has a civil, demand that they can make. And then the person's assets are on the line because they probably didn't even have a business. So they probably just didn't have everything structured in any sort of way to protect themselves as a person should. If you have a business, you limit your liability a little bit, right?
You do.
But that person probably running, if they're running something out of their garage or out of the shed.
The shed in the back.
I mean, but again, the whole point of podcasts and social media and stuff is to bring information to the consumer. Because just because you have 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, it's people like you that are bringing good information to the community so that they can, so that we know, so that we're informed.
I mean, I just feel that it's really important, and it's sad that the legal process has to get involved in this because people are what I call impersonating, right? Medical professionals. Because this takes training, it takes time, it takes having to associate yourself with all these big companies to get the best product. And people are not, like you said, there's no informed consent.
Right.
There's no evaluation after, before, there's no malpractice insurance. We carry malpractice, we have to. I don't like that hefty tab, but we have to carry it.
Right.
It's not fun.
Which the consumer also has to know, sometimes you charge more, right? Because you have all of these expenses.
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time and they're like, no, because I went to a notary and the notary did it for me instead of going to an attorney. I'm like, well, that's the unlicensed practice of law, but okay, sure.
Yes.
They can charge you $50 for something that I'm going to charge you $500 because I have all of the training and experience and location and everything. And as do you. So people, my recommendation is, on top of everything else, and this is not even a legal recommendation, is lo barato sale caro. The cheap is going to be more expensive.
More expensive in the end.
Do your research and make sure that you're going to a person that's licensed and insured.
That's so important. So important. There's a lot of really great injectors in Miami, all over the United States. There's great injectors. But you have to do your research big time. Like, that is so important. I cannot stress it enough. But just because you go somewhere, because somebody didn't gatekeep, right? They tell you, oh, it's okay, I did, my lips there, I did whatever there, and you go, there's certain signs that you just have to run from. I know people complain when they come to the office because we give them like a stack of papers. I have to fill all of this out? Yes, it is to protect you, that you understand what you're going to do. It's to protect me. But imagine going somewhere and they're just like, oh, your name's Martha, great, sit down, let's do this. And you're just like, oh, what happened? I don't know why people would do this. But it's worse. It is so much worse in the long run. And that's terrible.
So I'd say do your homework.
Yes. So back to the whole gatekeeping thing.
Yes.
How many times do we face just people that criticize and gatekeep? Like, how many times have you seen this?
Oh my gosh, I see it all the time though, especially, so I've been more active in social media and like with my hair. Right? Like, everybody in the beginning was criticizing my hair and I'm like, okay, you do you, I'm gonna do me, this is what I wanna do, but it's people that I see, they're like, oh, I lost all this weight, and they criticize you because you struggle. I struggle with that.
Yes, we all have.
So it's like, oh, I lost it naturally. I just, did a little bit of dieting. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All right, you lost like 30 pounds in a month. Sure, you did it naturally. Okay, whatever. But, so I see it all the time. We're here in Miami, you know, like
I know.
I have a place in Jensen Beach, and those people, they're not worried about the things
They
that
could care less.
are like fat, skinny,
They're just
wrinkly,
they're
not
tropical.
wrinkly. Yeah, they're cool.
They're fine.
But here,
No.
right? It's like you got to look a certain way, you know? It's like,
It's true.
but for the ladies, especially, look, I'm 46. I don't care. You know, I'm going to say my age. It is what it is, right? I want to
It is.
age gracefully,
That is the key component, aging gracefully.
but with a big B, okay? Let's be real. I want to look good.
Yes.
And I don't feel that there's enough to go around for everybody. So
There is.
I don't have to squish you to get ahead. We can
Right.
both get ahead.
Right.
And if I tell you, yes, I went and I had Botox, or yeah, I went and I did a weight loss injection.
Right.
It's so that you feel like it's okay. Like,
It should be okay.
right?
It should be okay. Like, I just don't understand why I have to shame somebody, like you said, while I'm like in the background kind of snickering and doing it. I'm one of the ones, I did this, and I'm very straightforward about it. Very straightforward, because I want to help other people. Even when I wasn't in this realm, it's all about helping people. And, you know, we're 46. You, as me, we had our kids very early, which is great because now we're in our 40s and we look fantastic.
Right.
I think we do.
Pero déjame meter la cuchareta rápido.
Ay, Dios.
Hace unos días tuvimos una invitada acá, que es la doctora Brittany Daniel.
Sí.
Brittany se parece mucho a ti. ¿Por qué?
Sí.
Se parecen tanto.
Well, that is Juanmi. Juanmi is our marketing director, and he loves to kind of stick little jabs into our podcast every now and then. And his question was that we recently had our injector, Brittany, on, and why does Brittany look so much like Martha?
Well, she is my daughter. She is my daughter. She is my firstborn. I had her when I was 17, and I don't gatekeep that either. You know, I don't.
There's no reason,
I don't.
no
you know,
shame.
I had her at 17. I was almost 18 though, so I was almost legal. But you know, at the end of the day, it defines me. It's who I am.
does.
So I could not be happier for my two daughters. You know, I had
course.
Brittany when I was 17/18, and then I had my other daughter, Alex Marie, when I was 20. And so
great.
it's all good. But yeah, she's my daughter.
I think that is good that we had our kids early, because I just feel, I don't know if it happened to you, but for me, I felt like I grew up with my kids at the same time. Now they're adults, it's fun to hang out with them. It's a different type of relationship. You have a grandson, which
Yes.
he's like delicious.
Yes, yes, he is. He is. It's good because now it's more of a friendship, right?
It is.
Now you're like, you know, I can talk to her about things. I mean, I'm still mom.
Yes,
Right? We're
yes.
always gonna be mom.
100%.
But on a different level. You
It
know?
is on a different level. It is. And that's so important. Like, some people shame other people. Oh, you had your kids early. But for you and for me, it was a motor that kind of got into us. And we're like, we have to study, because you and I both studied later
Right.
on, right? We didn't study at Brittany's age.
Right.
Which, if that was my only thing in life that I could go back and kind of redo, I would have studied so much earlier.
Right.
But my kids were like that motor behind me, pushing me to do more and become better. And then now I'm like, wow, this is great. Like, they're older, but I'm still young. I'm not gonna gatekeep. You know, I get my hormones, I get my Botox. All of this
Right.
is so important. And it's about not gatekeeping.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we should feel okay with saying these things, right? And
should.
for a long time, I was embarrassed, right? Because you're embarrassed. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
made these mistakes, or, you know, oh, I'm aging and I don't want to age, and, you know, I want to keep that look forever. And one part of me was like, no, I'm going to own it. And it's
You
okay
should
to
own
say
it.
it. And it's okay. Yes, I get hormones. I get, you know, I get everything, you know, minus some things because I'm scared, like, you know, my lips and stuff. but who knows? Maybe I will do that at some point, you know. But at the end of the day, ladies, my message is, or I think our message is, let's stop the gatekeeping.
For
you know,
sure.
let's be real with people and lift other women up.
Yes.
And, you know, it's okay.
And never put them down.
100%.
Martha, thank you for being on our podcast today.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate you coming and talking to us about how to find the proper injector. Remember, you can go on the Department of Health and look up the injector that you're looking for. You can also call their office. If they are a very straightforward injector, they will tell you all the information you need to know. Or if you come in, hopefully you can see all our diplomas on the wall.
Right.
And then take it from there. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us on another episode of Rejuvenation Bar Radio. Down below, we will go ahead and put Martha's handle on Instagram. Follow her for all of your legal needs.